It's just starting to look like the critters that crawl around here in the summertime. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Well, the welding is all done. I'm gonna grab the grinder and flap disc and go over some of the more ugly Gorilla Glob welds and clean it up. And then now that I've got the wings on it, I can't fit this under the cherry picker anymore. So I'm going to grab the Harbor Freight hoist there, and I'm going to hook it to that chain there, and I'll get the drill press out here with the cherry picker, then we'll lift it up with the chain fall, set it on here, temporarily bolt it, and see what breaks. Several viewers mentioned gusseting these wings to reduce flex in that direction when the weight is put on it. Good idea. And if it looks like I'm going to need to do that, if the weight of that drill press is enough where I end up getting some flex, what I'll do is I'll box in this channel iron here and tie it in with the main frame. I got plenty of 1/4 inch sheet steel laying around here. So what that will do, weld it on from here, tie it into the main frame probably to here. So if that wants to flex, it will tug on that box strap that way and keep that stable. I boxed these wings up here for the smaller casters. Number one, to cover up the exposed end of the channel iron, and number two, for the very same reason, keep this from flexing. It goes all the way around and welds to that cross channel there. Come on, babe. Swing around. Okay, this is completely disconnected from the hoist, so all of the drill press weight is on the new sub base. Let me check. We still have, sorry, the camera angle ain't the best, and the camera work is crappy. We still have a 1 inch, actually it looks like an inch and an eighth, consistent on both ends, and an inch and an eighth on the back. So we are consistent all the way around. An eighth of an inch taller than when I first built the thing, but did a lot of welding, a lot of heat on this, so there's been some metal movement. But sorry about the camera glare. I really don't have a good surface to put a level on. Well, actually I do, the column. Let me get a level on the column, see what we look like. Nancy was out garage sailing just this last weekend with her neighbor Jeannie, and she stumbled across this cobalt magnetic level, and she bought it for me. That's looking within the lines, maybe a little bit off, but that is awful close. Same in this direction. Let's check it now on the column. That's good enough in my book for that direction. Let's try it. Well, get a little glare from the door. Let's go this direction. I'd say that's good enough. We're a fraction of a bubble off all the way around, and to be honest, that's pretty doggone good. Let's check it back here. That's right on the money. So considering I don't really have any fixtures and jigs for assembling this kind of stuff, just good old fashioned shipyard ingenuity, that turned out pretty doggone good. And that is going to be very, very stable. I really think proportionally those funny looking wings aren't out of line. It would probably be better if they were closer, like the rear wings, but those got smaller diameter casters too. I think Ron Clue's viewer, who originally suggested the vertical wings, probably had the best idea. I wish I'd have thought about that earlier, but I'm satisfied with this. I don't think I'm going to have any trouble. And if I do, I can always cut these things off and turn them into vertical, horizontal wings. But I think this is looking just fine. It's not like I'm going to be rolling this thing all over everywhere anyway. It's going to pretty much sit in one spot. And if I have to wheel it out of the way, oops, sorry about the blast of wind from the portico, I can wheel it out of the way. And I've got three casters I can lock. All right. I've got a lot of cleanup work and some more grinding to do on Gorilla Globs, maybe some touch-up welding. I'm not going to film any of that. You've seen enough of that already. What I'm going to concentrate on now is getting a motor mount built and get that going, because I'm really anxious to get this thing finished and making chips. I set the motor on here, and it's in the correct orientation for spinning this pulley system in the correct direction, which spins this pulley, step pulley, in the correct direction, which gets this spindle turning in the correct direction. Challenge for me is figuring out a mount for this. I didn't think far enough ahead. I forgot all about this electrical box here where all the wiring resides. I didn't think about interference with this particular wing here. But with the pulley on there, this has got to come up and forward so the pulley on the motor aligns with the driven pulley on the drill press. So I've got to come up, I've got to come forward, and also this direction enough to accomplish that. So let me get to work to see what I can come up with. This is kind of what I'm envisioning. Another pulley will go here, and we'll have a flat belt running straight to the driven pulley. Sorry about the crappy camera work. The motor's pretty much going to stay in line with the rest of the sub base. Yeah, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a mounting plate for the legs on this motor and get it bolted to that first. Then we'll look at how to connect this to the sub base and come up with that plan. But before we do that, I've got to share something with all of you. I know you hear this on a lot of other channels, but it's just as true, if not more so, with my channel. I've got the best subscribers and viewers on the planet. Got a box here. I already know what's in it. In a previous video on this series, I was talking about how I was missing the clamp screw for the table, and I reached out to all of you. If any of you knew where one was, or if you had one, I would be willing to purchase it and pay for shipping and all of that. Well, I was recently contacted by a viewer, very nice gentleman. I asked if I could use his name. I really didn't get a negative or positive response from that, so I'm going to just err on the side of privacy, and I won't mention his name. But he reached out to me. He had been watching the entire series on me going through and restoring this drill press. And he said, "Hey, I've got what you need." I'm paraphrasing there. So let's open this up. Check this out. This thing is pristine. Like I said, I'm not going to mention the viewer's name, but I just can't thank him enough for his kindness and his generosity in providing me with the missing clamp screw for the table. And it fits perfectly. Look at that. But what's even more exciting about this is the story behind it. So this viewer shared a story with me via email. Back in the 1930s, his grandfather purchased a Champion blower and forged 20-inch Camelback drill press and used it for approximately 20 years, and then I don't know if Grandpa passed or what exactly happened, but this got moved and stored in some kind of an outbuilding, and there it sat for the next 20 years. Well, now enter his grandson, the viewer that sent me the clamp screw, and he retrieved it from the building, and he took it home and started the restoration process on it. And he mentioned in his email that he was inspired by my video series restoring this one. And check out these photos that he sent me, a couple of photos of his.
So in the process of his restoration on his drill press, he acquired another one for parts. Apparently it was in pretty rough shape, but it had good parts on it that would aid him in his restoration. Well, that's the donor that supplied the clamp screw that he sent to me. And this is just really humbling for me to receive such a generous gift from the viewer, and it's doubly humbling for me that someone would watch my videos in my little podunk shop here in the middle of the Arizona desert and be inspired to take on a similar project. So that you really don't know what that means to me, that I could aid someone in that way. So I want to again say many thanks to the viewer, subscriber that sent me the clamp screw and shared his story with me that I could also share with all of you. I'm sure you'll all appreciate the fact that this is the last day this will be running. Our October has been unseasonably warm, and although starting to cool down, I was able to have a couple days where I didn't run it. Today it's going to be 93, tomorrow it's going to be 88, and then the next day, boom, we drop to 70 degrees, and there it stays until it drops some more as winter comes on. So this will get drained and parked in a corner, and you won't have to listen to it for the next few months. I've got the electric motor up here on a chunk of 1/4 inch scrap steel. I'm going to mark the holes and lay out a rectangle that this can mount to. I'm probably going to bring the edge of the plate even on both sides, and probably out to a couple inches beyond the edge of the I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of dark, the edge of the base of the motor, probably a couple inches out this way, and then drill the holes and bolt it to that, and then see how I'm going to mount and build the rest of the bracket to hold this thing. I'm rethinking how I'm going to mount this electric motor. Originally, you saw earlier, I was thinking about doing it that way for belt tensioning. But I think symmetrically, it's going to look better lined up with the step pulley down below. I just need enough clearance here. The diameter of this pulley and that, just enough clearance. So it'll all clear, but I can still get a belt on there. But I just think symmetrically, it's going to look better like that, rather than off to one side. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. And let me know. Speaking of belt pulley, my plan was to mount this onto the shaft of the motor. Then I discovered this is smaller diameter than the diameter of the shaft. The old motor that came off of, which I'm still trying to get apart, is a 1-inch diameter shaft. That one's 1 1/8. And I thought, well, no big deal. I'll just ream that out a little bit. Well, who knows how many decades this thing sat on the dirt floor of that old outbuilding. This paper is rotten, and it just crumbles apart if I try to file that or do anything with it. It's just too old and rotten. So I got to call Belt Pulleys Incorporated and see what they can do for me. This is Wooden Dowel, and
I don't know. It feels solid here, but that could be rotten too. I also have an idea of how to redo this myself. There's a couple of YouTube videos where guys have done that with thin plywood and then shaped it with a wood file to get the crown on it. So we'll see. But that's going to be for the next video. Hopefully I can solve the belt pulley problem. Then we'll make up some belts and we'll light this baby off and make some chips. So I want to say thanks for watching, everybody, and sticking with me on this long, over a year-long restoration project on this Camelback drill press. And let's see if we can't bring it to a conclusion real soon. Bye for now.